Yes, welcome to my high-end and frequency business podcast. My name is Lisette Lucas from the Netherlands, and I'm an international trained high-end success medium and a high-end and frequency business coach. Throughout my podcast series, I help ambitious, empathetic coaches who aim for high-end success, fulfillment, and ultimate life and business mastery. Absolutely living and thriving from their stardust potential. I'll give you the tips, the tools, and energy shifts you need to shift to the next level of impact, abundance, freedom, and absolute energy joy. So I hope you're ready to shift with me. Let's go. Position yourself in your own soul-aligned space. How to distinguish yourself by focusing on your inner power instead of external fear. Yes, a very warm welcome to podcast 31 of the High End and Frequency Business Podcast. The show notes of this episode you can find at www.lisettelucas.com/B31, and you can download my Lisette Lucas app totally for free for iOS or Android. And you can also download my Above the Golden Line method, and that includes a hypnotation, a really powerful hypnotation, and that will help you shift to the frequency above the golden line. In this episode, we're going to talk about why does everybody do the same? As a coach, as an online entrepreneur, why is everybody copying each other? And why you, listening to this podcast, can break this pattern, and how to overall break this global habit, and how you can position yourself from your own soul-aligned space. And we're going to talk about how your driving force becomes your strength instead of your fear. Well, amazing that you're here. And yes, we're going to talk about how to position yourself in your own soul-aligned space. But what do I mean by that? Well, maybe if you've seen some of my work, I am a high-end success medium. And to be honest, I live in the Netherlands and nobody else in the Netherlands, Belgium, or around me does what I do. And as far as I know, nobody around the world does what I do in that particular way. And how did I get there? How did I get there? Well, I was at that place as well, that I was looking around. I was a trained medium. I was having my own business. I was trying to get people for one-to-one sittings. And I got people to do private sittings and consultations. But everybody was working with energy and doing mediumship and working as a psychic and giving trainings in the exact same way that we were taught. So I came to that conclusion at a certain point, like, I don't want to be that number 13 in a dozen. I mean, there has to be another way. And then I thought, well, we all come from that stardust. We all have that stardust potential. And when we connect to that inner knowledge, that inner power, that soul-aligned space that's within you, then you can create things that nobody else can. Then you really can start to distinguish yourself by purely focusing on your inner power instead of focusing on what the rest of the world is doing. Because, well, I think we all have done that. And to be honest, I look at people at really the top of the business, like Tony Robbins. And to be honest, I'm training at the moment to become a Tony Robbins coach, because when I look at him, I think and feel and know, like, wow, all those tools he's giving away to the world, that's proven. That's proven. So it doesn't mean that you have to discover the egg again. I don't know if you say it like that in English, but I hope you know what I mean. You just have to look at the people who are doing it in a certain way that resonates with you. And then you integrate, you model the way they do it. And then you go within yourself to that soul aligned space. You connect to your own stardust potential. And from that area, you can create your own unique way of being, your own unique way of doing business. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And I'm not saying this is easy to do, because when I tell it like this, it sounds really easy. Oh, just go within and things will come up. No, you have to do the work. You have to do the work because, yes, we come from that stardust. We come from that beautiful stardust, but life being life. So through life, we all got layers of earthly dust covering that stardust potential. So to go within, to step into that unique soul-aligned space from where you eventually can distinguish yourself by purely focusing on your inner power. To get there, to that point, you have to do the work. And what do I mean with work? Well, you have to do reprogramming. You have to clear blocks. You have to go through old patterns. You have to remove old habits. Yes? So that's how it started for me as well. I felt I needed to change something. It didn't work for me. I didn't like to be that 13 in a dozen. I didn't like to be that person who was easy to Google and then 20 other mediums or psychics showed up and then you can compare prices, rates. No, I thought that's not me. I know what I'm capable of. I know the value I give to people. I change people's lives. I transform people's lives. And I even can say I've saved many, many lives. I even created lives through people who were able to give birth. So in so many different ways, I've been able to touch people. I thought, why am I going to give away the most valuable resources, the most valuable tools, and the most valuable energy I can share for like a regular price? It didn't feel good. And more important, when I was pricing like the normal price range, people didn't even know that I was doing something really different than other people are doing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the people who work at a normal rate don't give that much value. But what I learned through the years of working, more than 10 years now, working one-on-one with people, with groups, training groups, working in front of live audiences, what I noticed, if people don't pay or hardly pay anything, they don't pay attention. That's how the human mind works. That's how it works. It's as simple as that. For me, it's easier to work and train people who pay me 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 euros instead of the people who only pay 500 euros. You know what takes me the most energy and drains me the most? The people who only pay 500 euros because they don't see the value. They don't understand the value. And more important, when they only, and don't get me wrong here as well, because I know 500 euros for some people is a lot of money. And 20,000 euros is for other people just a little bit of money. And that's what makes the world go round. But what I mean to say is, well, you are here. Something resonated when you saw the high end part, when you saw the high frequency part, maybe the mediumship part, or what else came forward. Maybe you just felt a certain soul pull towards listening this or looking at this video at this moment. And then you can think by yourself, okay, who do I want to be? Who do I want to become within this process of helping other people? Do I want to stay mediocre? Or do I really and powerfully want to distinguish myself by focusing on my inner world, becoming the best version of myself, the best possible version that is always unfolding, because we all have unfolding potential. But when you stay in that certain area where the most coaches are working, where you can Google a certain type of expertise and, well, you can compare the prices. Do you want to be that person? Well, then I have to be honest as well, because if you want to stay in that certain mediocre area of expertise and area of rates that you want to charge, where people compare the price you charge with the value you give. And I know that's not fair at all, because I know when you're listening to this, you give so much value. And maybe you don't even know at this moment in time how good you are, because not all that parts are fully integrated. But because you are listening to this now, see that as a sign that it's your time and your moment to break through this global habit because it's a global habit. Well, it's more than a global habit. It's in our programming. It's in our conditioning. We all have to stay the same. We all have to stay the same. It's in the depth of all the layers. So I completely understand why people stay the same, because it feels safe. It feels kind of safe. But what is under safe? There is a fear of failure. There's a fear of failure. But when you turn it around, what's the other side of failure? That's success. Success. So you can choose for success. That's why I'm also a high-end success medium, because I chose to go and aim for success. And we're not programmed for success. That's not our normal habit. That's not our norm. Absolutely not. Our norm is to survive. And only if you choose for success instead of fear, instead of failure, only then you can change your business, change your life, change the lives of so many other people by leading by example. Lead by example. That's what you do. So please listen to that gut feeling, that inner knowing, that part of you that you maybe not even understand at this moment in time, but you have the choice to step into your own soul-aligned space, your own soul-aligned space. And that becomes your own space within your own market, your own niche, where there's nobody else there. Because from that place, it feels so peaceful. It feels so like I've created my own niche within the niche, just like I did. And because you're listening to this, I know you can do this as well. But the only thing that's really, really important, you need to learn to trust. Trust your inner power. Trust that soul power. Trust that driving force that's within you. And only when you trust, you can take a leap of faith and you can start to distinguish yourself. So I'm asking you now, are you ready to take a leap of faith? Are you ready to break away from mediocre? Are you ready to distinguish yourself? Are you ready to create your own space, your own niche, your own market of expertise within the market, within the niche, within the world, within all the places that we already are? I can assure you, when you do that, it's not crowded at all. People will start to talk about you. People will start to find you. And that's how it works. Because when you step into that soul-aligned space, you light your own fire. You light your own fire, and it's like being a beacon of light. People can feel and see and sense it from far, far away. So, again, are you making the choice to choose for yourself? And be aware, when you choose for yourself, you choose for everybody else. Because you choose to switch on the light and become that beacon of light that is so, so needed in the world today. So if this sounds good, if this resonates, because that's the most important part, it can sound good. You can think, oh, that nice story Lisette is telling, or yeah, maybe it makes sense, but that's not what it's about. Then you can go to every other business coach if you think like that. Honesty again, but that's what you get at high end as well. What's the most important part, if you want to work with me, is that it resonates, that you feel it within your core, that you don't even understand why you feel and sense it like that, but that it's like, I call it the bubbly, sparkling champagne sensation within you that feels like yes, that feels like go for it, just do it. Don't think about it. Not more than 3 seconds. Just do it. Reach out. So that's what I'm telling you now. When this resonates, when you're ready to distinguish yourself and step into your own inner power, release all the fear. Release the fear of failure. Break through all those limiting blocks and patterns and limiting beliefs, all BS belief systems. Yes? When you're ready, please reach out. Send me a DM or comment with the word position. position. So you can position yourself in your own soul-aligned space. And my expertise is to help you make that first step and the next steps, and to learn how you can tune into that inner power and create from that space, so that you live in a space of freedom, of internal wealth, external wealth, and the fulfillment you get from tuning into that inner part, that inner knowing, and spreading it to your audience, to the people who are being drawn to you, is like the most fulfilling feeling you can ever experience. Well, I hope you liked this podcast. This was podcast 31, and you can find the links of this podcast in the show notes at www.lisettelucas.com/B of business B31. So again, download my Lisette Lucas app, and as well the above the golden line method, including the powerful golden light hypnotation, because it will help you to accelerate your process. Well, thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions, please reach out. Looking forward to meet you or connect or reconnect, and would really love to hear in what type of way you want to create your own space of expertise. Well, thanks so much, and really looking forward to hear or see you. Bye. Thank you for listening to my high-end and frequency business podcast. My name is Lisette Lucas, and if you want to join my EnergyJoy world, please drop me a DM, and really looking forward to connect.